The views and opinions expressed on Deliberately Linked are entirely those of the host, who are completely responsible for all show content. These views and opinions are not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure in any way any kind of condition, or to promote any specific lifestyle, belief, religion, political affiliation, or personal practice. Nor is the information presented deemed to be accurate or verifiable.
What is up, Deliberately Linked viewers? Lace them up and lock it in, because on today's show, Mark and I gather here today to wish you all a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, absolutely. Hopefully you woke up this morning and you did not find coal in your stocking.
That's a fact. Myself, I don't know yet.
I say Josh and I, we have a very high percentage chance of finding coal.
That's true. Yeah.
If my wife were here, she would say there is only a chance of finding coal.
Yeah.
So,
Funny story on that, actually. When I was really, really young, this was obviously when I believed in Santa. If we have any believers out there,
hopefully everybody is of an age where he didn't just crush some serious.
I didn't just break any hearts.
He didn't just crush some serious.
But Santa is, yeah. So this was at the time when I believed Santa was real, and I being really young in my faith, I actually. This was Christmas Eve, so the night before, and I was sat in front of my fireplace, and this is when I felt like I was just a bad kid these days, and I remember it so vividly.
This was yesterday, by the way.
Right, I remember this so vividly. I literally got on my hands and knees, put my hands together, and started praying, asking for forgiveness, because I was like, God, I know I could have been better. I'm just praying that Santa brings me gifts, that I don't get any coal.
That's so good.
And I remember my brother standing there like, what is this kid doing? And my mom just like, just let him do it. Just let him do it.
Oh, of course, Deb.
Yeah, so Merry Christmas. We hope none of you woke up to any coal.
No, that's
today.
hilarious. So I have 5 children.
Yeah.
The bubble burst for the last time this year. With our youngest, I'd take full blame.
Oh, it came out.
Yeah. If any of you out there, unfortunately, are burdened with the task of moving the elf and the rules of the elf on the shelf, no one's allowed to touch him.
Yeah.
So my daughter's kind of quirky in the fact that she finds the weirdest places to like watch her iPad or read.
Okay.
So I thought it's early in the morning. I went into a room. No one's in bed. Looked on the other side of the bed. No one's sitting in like her beanbag chair. I'm like, cool. I'm just going to move this elf, go on with my day.
Right.
She was under the bed watching me.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Bro, she caught you.
She caught me.
So stealthy. I love it.
It was pure devastation.
I bet.
Pure devastation. I mean, you know Hallie, like her face says it all.
Oh, yeah.
Very not happy with Daddy. Went and woke Mommy up.
So you weren't able to play it off.
No, it was impossible. I'm literally caught red-handed holding the elf in my hand.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Did you try it all, or
No.
you just froze?
I just submitted. I put it on the dresser and I said, we'll talk about this later, and I left.
Straight defeated.
Oh, so she went and straight got Mom because, Dad's in trouble. And, yeah. So it was bad. I mean, Heather's giving me this look, and I'm like, in 8 years, you've never moved the elf. So you don't even know. Like, this is a serious burden.
There's a lot of work that goes into this.
Tons of work that go into the elf.
Much mental
And
preparation.
I've never been caught before. So in 8 years, I'm doing pretty good.
You got cocky.
Yeah.
For sure.
And that's what happened. And, yeah, so now everybody in our house knows that.
So you guys had to sit her down and Hallie, listen. This is not real.
Yeah. Easter Bunny came out. Tooth Fairy came out. I mean, it was a day of.
How old is Hallie?
She's 8.
Oh,
it was a day of straight up disappointments.
I feel like that's fairly early to learn that Santa's not
Between
real.
8 and 10, I would say, is the average.
Okay.
Because what happens is you always get those few kids that know, especially in the day of technology.
Right. For sure.
And eventually someone at school does it.
Yeah, that's where I learned.
And we kind of fought that this year. She has a friend who was trying to spill the beans with her. And, Heather nixed that in a heartbeat.
Okay.
But, it was devastation. It was full on, like, ugly cry, big tears.
Man.
Daddy, you're the worst. And, like, I did it. Like, I killed Santa.
Right.
But, yeah. But I'll tell you what, though, listeners and viewers, it's made this Christmas so much less stress-free. I mean, we're going shopping. Hey, don't come downstairs. We're wrapping.
Right.
I mean, none of this late night hiding stuff.
Heck
I'm
yeah.
like, this is so nice.
So she's accepted it.
It's funny because she has one of those American Girl dolls.
Yeah.
Which if you're also one of those people that's caught in that trance, I apologize because it's ridiculous and it's expensive.
Right.
So now she's made the elf on the shelf, whose name is Lucy in our house. That's Julie's elf. So she thinks she tricks her
they're-
doll with it.
They're dating now or something?
Well, no, it's she moves the elf, and then Julie doesn't know.
Gotcha. Okay.
So Julie, who was born in 1978 per the American Girl doll, still believes in Santa.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so she's having fun with it.
Well, that's good, though. It was a good run. I mean,
It was a good run.
You put up a vibrant, effort.
The best part was the three middle kids who still live at home, because Jacob obviously doesn't live at home. The three middle kids who live at home, they thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, when she learned.
Yeah. So the funny thing is, they were all laughing at me, and I turned it on them because they said, "Well, how did you feel?" And I said, "Do you know when I tell you guys, like, I'm not angry with you, but I'm disappointed?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, yeah, I hate that feeling." That's how I felt, and they instantly all shut up.
Does she believe in the Easter Bunny?
Oh, she believed in all that stuff. Well, you know how she's got the imagination
Right.
that goes for days.
So you think that's next?
Oh, we broke it all.
Oh, everything.
We
Oh
ended
my
it all.
gosh.
We ended it all.
Wow.
Do you know what she
That's
really?
not a loss,
Do you know what
that's
she
a
struggled
feat.
with? She struggled with the tooth fairy.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. She's
Well,
like,
yeah, because that's bringing
she's
you
like-
some money, bro.
She's like, "But where do all my teeth go? We have them." She's like, "No, you don't." Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
And then when we told her that we buy the presents, like her face was like pure, like, "You're lying."
Wow.
We're like, "No, we buy all the presents."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Mer-
why we tell you every year Santa has a budget.
Yeah. Wow. Merry Christmas in Mark's house because he's out here breaking hearts. Man.
And hey, you know who allows me to break hearts?
Who?
Serenity Home Improvements.
Oh, I love it. I love it. They
No,
do.
Serenity Home Improvements. I'll tell you what, we've been partnered with these guys now for quite a few weeks.
Yeah, it's great.
Love working with them. Great things are happening. I mean, guys, it doesn't matter if it's negative 30 degrees outside. These guys are here to complete your project, and they're here to do it right. They're going to treat you fair, and they're going to give you the best product at the best price that's marketly available. I mean,
sure.
that's John. JP is the owner, and I'll tell you what, this guy has a knack for finding exactly what you want for the lowest price, and he passes those savings on to you, which is greatly appreciated to everybody. I know when he's done it for me, he doesn't have to tell me that he's saving money.
Yeah.
But when he passes savings on to the customer, that's a big deal. It talks a lot about that guy's integrity. But yeah, Serenity Home Improvements. We love having you guys as a partner. Love everybody on the crew. I go down a list of all of them. Just really good guys. Authentic craftsmen. I mean, if you don't know what a craftsman is, look it up. These guys are craftsmen. I mean, they're perfectionists in what they do, so they're fantastic. And during the month of December, their Merry Christmas to you is they are willing to give you 5% off your total material cost on your project if you mention Deliberately Linked when you sit down and do your estimate or call them about doing a project for them. So that's a wonderful gift they're offering everybody. And if you want to get a hold of them, you can find them on Facebook. You can find them at serenityhomeimprovements.com, or you can call them directly at 740-390-8773.
Very
So
good.
Serenity Home Improvements, Merry Christmas to us from you, and Merry Christmas back at you.
Yeah, thank you guys. We appreciate
Yeah.
you guys being on our show. So, Mark, waking up that Christmas morning as a kid, let's take ourselves back to it. Each and every one of us probably come from different experiences.
Yeah.
Right. Some better than worse, and it really can be a time that can be really hard on some families, in many aspects of their life. And I think it's also a time that many families are fortunate enough and able to splurge, on their kids or their loved
Well,
ones and their family.
I mean, as families, you make exceptions to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You literally budget for it, preparing for it. And I think it really can be a touchy subject, given the background, I think, from a lot of what these kids come from. But personally, I'll be flat out and say it. I was very blessed and very fortunate growing up. My parents always reminded my brother Tyler and I, it's the stuff that we received on Christmas is really never stuff that we needed, but stuff that we wanted. And at a young age, we were explained to that, very well. And I think at a
reason for
young
the
age,
season.
exactly,
Yeah.
the reason for the season.
Yeah.
But we were able to benefit from it, as young kids as well, and we're obviously very fortunate for that. But every year, as many can relate to in their own way that they grew up, every year it was an early morning of waking up, and in our house where our tree sat in our living room, there was a balcony looking over it. So it was always the exciting factor and the exciting feeling
To peek over the
waking up, getting up, going over the balcony, and just before you run downstairs, just looking over the edge at all the presents under the tree.
That's because the stairs coming down off your balcony are so slippery. You wanted to look at it before you fell and got double vision.
No doubt, because those stairs are dangerous.
Because Mama waxes those things.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, those things are slippery. But we would wake up, and it was, I think we went back and forth between Tyler waking myself up or, myself waking him up. And I should always add, going to bed those nights were so hard. You would lay in bed, you just stare at the ceiling like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I can't wait. And so this particular Christmas that I'm talking about, Tyler and I went down there, and the first thing you do is you start, without even looking at the tags, you start looking around like, ooh, is that mine? Could that be mine? What's this? What's that really big object over there? What's that thing that looks like a gun? Or what are these? You just get super, super excited. So this Christmas actually fell on a Sunday. And so our church had a Sunday church service. And we previously talked about opening our presents before we all went to church. So we're like, okay, great. We got up in time. One of our traditions on Christmas Day is two really things that I've grown up with that we still continue to do and that I hope to pass down to my kids. Very simple, probably similar to a lot of households, is one, we would have a fire, a real fire with firewood. If for some of those aren't familiar with that, it's actually fire. It's not turned on by a switch. In the fireplace, and my mom would make homemade cinnamon rolls.
Oh, yeah.
These things are massive, so doughy, so icy, you name it. They're just fantastic. And so we'd always dig into those. And then that particular morning, we opened all of our presents. And a lot of times, our parents would decide, hey, let's open that one next, or let's do this one now. Here and there, occasionally they'd just let us dive in. But there was this one big gift, and it was gifted to Tyler and I. We're like, oh my gosh, what is this gift? And they're like, no, let's wait a little bit for that one. I want you guys to do this one first. We're like, okay. So we'd open this one, socks, underwear, you name it, all the good stuff like that. And
the necessities.
The suspense was building up so much for this big gift. And we finally get through all the gifts, and it's finally time to open this massive box. I mean, I'm talking, this thing looked like a kitchen sink sitting in this, like that's how big it was. This box was huge. We're like, what could this be? And so we're getting ready to go open it, and my parents said, time for church. Like, what? No, what do you mean it's time for church? We can open it really, really quick. Like, let us hurry. They're like, nope, go get dressed real quick so we're not late. Like, okay. So we get ready for church. We go to church. We sit through the service as always. A great Christmas service, and the whole time during church,
you're thinking about
it. What is in that box?
Didn't hear Jesus one time.
No, unfortunately, did not. Thinking about it. Church felt like 3 hours long. Ended. All right. We go home, and it's finally time to open up this box. And my mom said, okay, wait. This is really, really exciting. I want to grab the video camera. I'm like, okay, hurry up. So I was like waiting on her. Felt like 20 minutes. All right, she comes back. All right, guys, go ahead. Video camera's watching. My dad's standing up. He's like, this is so exciting. This is going to be the best gift ever. We unwrap it. It's just like a box. We're like, okay. And they're like, open it up. We grab a pocket knife. We open up the box. And there's literally a toilet inside.
Knowing your parents, I knew it was going to be
something. They got us a toilet because in our bathroom upstairs that connected to our bedrooms, we still needed a toilet on that unfinished bathroom. That was
so for everybody listening
of suspense.
Terry built their whole house.
That's true.
Josh's dad, Terry. I mean, this house is massive, but the man literally built this house on his own. So it's super funny, but it's very them.
It's very my dad and my mom. They thought it was the funniest thing in the world, and I don't think Tyler and I talked to them probably like for the next hour. We're like, I can't believe you just did us like this.
Oh, but you know what? They were probably really thankful to end up having a toilet up there.
We were, because that was great.
Yeah,
it was great in the long run.
We gifted you convenience.
Yeah.
So
now I see that. Then I did not.
Yeah.
Trust me.
But that brings up a good point. I mean, Christmas, sometimes we all get caught up in what we don't need.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get caught up in that what I don't need. You get caught up in the wants of life, and sometimes you forget about the things in life that are, necessities.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's good. I think it's good for everybody to splurge on yourselves. I know at Christmas time in our house, it's definitely something Heather and I build up to with all the children, and we make it a very special moment. But that's our big shebang for the year, really. But even then, like, I think if most people were to come watch our Christmas, our kids are they're very good gift askers.
Okay.
Like, they ask for things they know they need.
They get it. Yeah.
Yeah, you
That's
know,
good.
and I think it's just kind of how we raised them. You know, they're
Right.
not. Don't get me wrong; they'll ask for something that they want, of course. But a lot of what their makeup is things that they know they need. But yeah, I mean, I know crazy things. I have zero stories like what you just said.
Yeah.
Zero.
I'm sure.
I mean, I didn't have a Christmas tree in my house until I was 20.
You definitely come from a different
Yeah,
experience.
my mom did not celebrate Christmas, did not believe in Christmas, so my house was always the house on the block with no lights. And it's a battle my dad just chose not to fight with her. So my Christmas morning was always delayed because we didn't go to grandma's till like 1.
Okay.
So my Christmas is at grandma's. So I wake up every Christmas morning and it would just be a normal day
Right.
until you get to grandma's.
Okay.
But even then at grandma's, I mean, I can think of a few gifts, but really for me at grandma's, it was the smell.
Yeah.
Like, to this day, that's what I remember is the smell.
Mm.
I mean, just that's where I found my love of cooking.
Of the pine and the dough in the oven.
I mean, my grandmother was an amazing cook, and that's when I thought Christmas to me was a smell.
Okay.
Yeah, I came from a very modest background. I mean, my parents didn't have a lot of money. My grandparents have a lot of money. Grandma always get you something small, but it was always the smell.
Yeah.
And then I love my cousins. We did have a really close group of cousins back then, and I was young. My dad was the baby of the family, so his kids, all of me and my brother and sister, we were the young ones.
Okay.
So I had some older cousins, and then you just got picked on for 5, 6, 7 hours.
Yeah.
You know, but it was always in a good way. I mean, but
Right.
that's the stuff you miss. And I mean, my grandma passed away 20 years ago. So it's like it's amazing how that affects people. When we think about Christmas, that's where the happy and the sad kind of collide because, you know, once grandma died, I mean, the family still kind of gets together, but it's not the same.
Okay.
You know, the glue kind of fell off a little
Yeah.
bit. And I can see where people struggle, you know, and honestly, from my background as a firefighter, Christmas is one of those days, you don't mind working it. You work every third holiday. It's the name of the job.
Yeah.
But a lot of guys, you have bad Christmas memories because our suicide rates go through the roof.
Oh.
And so you get a lot of sad Christmas Day runs because the Christmas season isn't always a joyful season for everybody. A lot of times you're stuck in a house and you're either alone or you're missing a loved one that's no longer there. And sometimes it's a reminder of what you don't have, not what you do have.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what we want to talk about today. I mean, we want to talk about the good and the bad,
Right.
but I want everybody to remember, you know, there is a reason for the season. And so even if you do find yourself on this day and you're listening to the show and you don't have family or you are alone, you're really not alone.
Yeah.
You know, you're really not. I mean, Christmas, just take the first, 6 letters there and you're going to spell the importance of the day. And he's always with you. And that's what it's about. You know, my kids get a lot of gifts. They get a lot of presents. I'm definitely a gift giver. I'm a horrible gift getter.
Yeah.
But it's more so in the joy of it. And I know, like, we have very similar, even though I didn't grow up with traditions for Christmas, we have a lot of those with our children.
Yeah.
I mean, we still wake up. I make cinnamon rolls in the morning. I mean, that's what we do. Nobody opens a gift until everybody's up and going.
Yep.
And then what we do is we literally go around one at a time and everybody watches.
That's cool.
Because you want to almost enjoy it with them
Yeah.
and you're excited for them.
Living in that moment.
Absolutely. We cut down a real Christmas tree every year. And I think some of this I do this is because these are things as a child I wanted.
Okay.
I never cut down a Christmas tree until, I was older.
Right.
So I wanted my kids to always have that and have that tradition. And we go to a simple tree farm, mom and pop place, and you do that and you enjoy it. And it's another day you spend, you take pictures and you have memories.
Yeah. And that's interesting, Mark, because you've already said it. You and I come from completely different backgrounds and experiences as far as the Christmas day goes. And I myself, I've grown up with all these traditions of, getting a Christmas tree and homemade cinnamon rolls and all kinds of other things. And I want to instill that, throughout my life because it was so important to me. But I think it's interesting, on the other hand, that someone that didn't get to experience those, the Christmas season is still such a iconic time that even someone that didn't get to experience those, you want to instill those experiences that even though you didn't get to, want to into your kids. And I think that's just that really truly shows the mass importance of the day within itself. I think at most families, it is easy to get caught up in marketing and this and that of Christmas. But, surprisingly enough, the way you've seen our society go in multiple different angles, it is true that it does seem a lot of families still remember the importance of this day, and it's really being together as a family and instilling those values. Don't get me wrong, you have it the complete other way, and people just it's give or gift gifts.
It's all
guess
what I
should say.
get. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I even think I mean, anybody listening to the show by now, if you don't know, if you don't know, I'm going to blame Josh and I because that'd be embarrassing. Our fact, you and I are both Christian men.
Yeah.
We both are strong in our faith. We go to church every Sunday regardless.
Right.
But even this time of year, people who do not go to church regularly understand what this day signifies.
Yeah.
And
That's a good point.
I don't want this to come off negative, but there are people that call them CEOs, and it's called Christmas, Easter only.
Mm-hmm.
That's when they go to church. They understand what it signifies. Yeah. They know this is where I should be because I need to give thanks because I have what I have because this perfect man came to earth and died for me.
Yeah.
And even though I don't go to church year round, does not mean that his love for me has diminished.
Yeah.
It hasn't. He still wants to see you, and so they understand the importance of that. And I know that you don't have children yet, but I know when you have children, you'll do the same thing I do. My kids understand the reason for the season. I mean, we're blessed that we can do what we do. Number one, we're blessed that we can offer our kids what we offer them.
Yeah.
But they never lose sight of why we're there.
Yeah.
And you made a great point, and you talked about the people and getting and giving and how that works and how that comes together. But I think, and even in the traditions that come along with all of this. But I think what holds everybody together on this is it's a day where literally it can be just pure joy.
Yeah.
And even if you don't get the newest iPhone or whatever, I think a lot of people, if you gave them some truth serum, and you've been the recipient of one of these, my favorite gifts I've ever been given are gifts that can't be bought.
Yes.
Our son Blake is notorious for this.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks about this months in advance. Our son loves art.
Yeah.
His dream is to be an architect. That's just what he loves. He's passionate about it. And I know you guys have been the recipient of what he calls scratch art. And he takes this black canvas and he scratches in a picture, and they're really good.
Yeah.
I mean, they're really good. But then he buys nice frames and he gives them to people, and he's giving you a piece of him.
Right.
And I think it was last year, Heather and I can buy each other whatever we want. I mean, we're very blessed in that effect. But my favorite gift last year was a woodcut frame with a picture of you, me, Ashley, and Heather in it.
Right.
I mean, it still sits in my office.
Yeah.
It's probably the best gift I got all year.
Yeah.
But that's the stuff that it never diminishes.
Those are what you remember.
I'll never give it away. I'll never put it in a yard sale. Mm-hmm. That's the stuff that means something. And I think this time of year, it's really, that's what a lot of people, I think, sometimes lose sight of.
Mm-hmm. It's easy to get away from that.
It is.
The importance of, like you said, creating it on your own. And as you're very aware, every year my old man would make something for my mom.
Yes.
There's multiple pieces of wood furniture all
Which,
over
for those who don't know,
house.
Josh's dad, Terry, is a very, very good wood maker, craftsman, builder.
Yeah.
I mean, stuff that you will go into a store and his stuff's way even higher quality.
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing.
And just being able to see the pride on his face when he gives, like, he would always wait until, Christmas is done, presents are open, then he would have to run down to the barn. Hey, kids, help me load it up, and we'll go surprise your mom and this and that. And and I know those are obviously what mean the most to her. And it's just it is the act of giving, but it's so much deeper when you're able to create it on your own and not have to buy it.
You said this season is all about giving. What I would like to see people do is live in a season of giving.
Right. Okay.
There's so many. This time of year we exaggerate it, and I guess where I struggle with is because I know this stuff happens all the time, but as far as news media goes, it's not really a story until it's a story.
Right.
But we see it all the time. And I know recently an article you and I have discussed is there was a real estate company who received a very, very large refund as a company whole, in which if you own a large company, you understand that. You get kickbacks from your insurance companies, your BWC insurance, whatever it is that you're buying into. If you don't use it, they kick you back. Mm-hmm. It is what it is. So he had like 200 employees. He took that entire refund and split it up.
That's amazing.
And gave it to all his employees. I mean, that is true, unselfish pride in your product and in your employees.
Yeah.
And our entrepreneurs, and the reason this is relevant here is because we do talk entrepreneurial a lot. Our entrepreneurs, I think there's a time you get caught up in thinking that you are the company.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think you lose sight that your company is only as good as the people you surround yourself with. And I was thinking about this yesterday after you and I had talked, and I was like, it really reminds me of like an an orchestra. You have these amazing people who can write music all day long,
Right.
and it's amazing. But if you don't have the musicians to play it,
Yeah.
the song sucks.
Right.
And really your company is the same way. You have to surround yourself with people that take your company to a next level. And when you show them that appreciation, I promise you this, you get a much better product in return.
You do. The impact that tiny act has, and when I say tiny, that was probably a lot of money that he
It was
obviously
millions.
Yeah,
And he
dispersed
split it
out.
up, yeah.
So that example probably isn't too tiny, but the appreciation that those customers, obviously they get a biweekly paycheck and this
Yeah.
and that, and that's expected. Hopefully, as the owner of the company, you show them their appreciation from time to time, and I truly believe that the dollar amount is not the reason for the appreciation, but it's the thought.
So you said that, which is funny because I thought the same thing. And so I started Googling basically what do employees look for an employer? What is it? Is it all strictly financial? And I didn't know this, but since like 2001 to 2018, people who leave jobs, that percentage of individuals just continues to rise.
Yeah.
And 2018 was the highest it's ever been.
Okay.
People that don't stay at a position for a very long period of time.
Yeah.
And when they pulled them and they asked people, they're like, what's the problem? Number one is they felt like they weren't being invested in.
Okay.
It wasn't, I wasn't making enough money.
Right.
I felt like the employer wasn't investing in me. And they said, well, how do you think they should invest in you? And it was, they're not helping me be better at my job,
Okay.
whether it be education or
Yeah.
in-company training. And I was shocked. I was like, people are begging you to make them better at their job so they can make you more money. And we're not doing that.
Yeah.
But that was the number one complaint.
That's interesting.
They're not investing in me to be a better me for them.
Right.
I mean, this is not, a lot of people listen to our show and they're like, you guys don't really say anything earth-shattering. No, because Josh and I aren't earth-shattering individuals. Number one. But number two, this goes back, years. Years. People have been saying this forever. Help me help you.
Right.
And that's all these employees want. Invest in me so I can be the best me. And in turn, you'll benefit from that.
Right. You
And
get a
that's
better
what,
product.
That's what they want.
And that was his way of investing into his
Absolutely.
people, especially during the holiday time. Guys, it's 14.2% of Americans sell their possessions to fund Christmas. I know.
Okay, I've never done this.
like
I've never done this, but that blows my mind.
Yeah,
that's a
it's-
lot of dang people.
that is, and it's sad. And honestly,
That is
it's sad.
you're out pawning your stuff. Which number one, I feel bad that you're in that position. I really do. It hurts my heart to think about it. Number two, I commend you for the sacrifice you're willing to make your family happy this time of year because that's going to a whole other length.
Right.
But that's insane.
Yeah.
That's millions of people. When you think of the whole broad spectrum, how many people are in the United States? 14% of them are selling possessions to do that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. But guy, what was it? We were talking about it at church the other day. I can't remember what holiday it was. I think it was Father's Day. It was something ridiculous. Like how many millions of dollars get spent on ties. It's
yeah.
amazing when
Yeah.
you break down what people spend.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, there's a lot of people out there. That's what they look at.
Yeah.
They look at what is the money spent, and it's not what is the thought behind it.
Correct.
Christmas for me, I spoil Heather. She gets spoiled on her birthday, she gets spoiled on her anniversary, and she gets spoiled at Christmas. And she'll tell you she does. She told me this year we weren't going to buy anything for each other, and I just nod and agree, which is, she knows I'm not going to listen. But what I pride myself in is listening year round.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
You know what
and
I
those
mean?
are usually the best gifts. 'Cause
Yeah.
You're like,
So
oh my
she
gosh.
has zero idea. She's been wanting an antique double tub sink
Yeah.
that back in the day they used to their washing outside in.
Yeah.
Okay, well she wants it for outdoors. She wants it for I don't
Decoration or
know.
whatever.
Well, you throw a party, you put
Oh,
drinks in
oh.
it. It is what it is. I don't get it. It doesn't matter. She loves it. She's been wanting one for like 3 years.
Okay.
And I found one in I think it was Illinois.
Oh wow.
And I had to have it shipped here.
It's an actual antique.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
it's just one of the lookalikes.
No. It's the real deal. This
Okay.
thing's like 70 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, so I finally found one.
That's cool.
I had to have it shipped here from Illinois. So it's in my garage in an eBay box. I just told her, don't touch the eBay box.
She has
She
no
can't
idea.
see, she has no idea.
Oh,
But, and it has no idea. Was it expensive? It was expensive. But she won't even look at the expense.
Yeah.
It could have been free. She wouldn't have cared. What it was is, and this is stuff she's told me all the time, you always listen to me.
Yeah.
So I just pay attention and you listen. Those are the gifts where she's like, yeah, he got me the gift, but where I'm going to gain all my points is he's invested.
Yeah.
he's invested.
For sure.
So you're just paying attention. Yeah, she has no idea. And the reason I say this on the show is because she ain't listening to the show. So it's not like
She's
I'm
not invested.
I'm not. No, she's not invested. She thinks Josh and I are idiots. So she's like, I hear you guys all the time. I don't need to listen to the show to hear it.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, so it's the investment.
Yeah.
And the same thing I do with my children. You know, they put down a list, but I try to listen to them and see because I like that pure surprise.
Yeah.
I like to be like, oh, Dad does listen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's the fun part for me.
Yeah.
I mean, the hardest part about Hallie now knowing is once they know that Saint Nicholas is no longer with us, and that Mom and Dad do it, it changes their expectations of the holiday.
For sure.
And that's the rough part
Yeah.
because I liked the authentic joy and surprise that came.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting. That's super interesting. Now, Mark, you said a little bit ago that we do this time of year,
Mhm.
you know, the giving and the joyful acts. And I think it's super interesting why we struggle to do this year round. And why do we have to have all these marketing campaigns and sales and deals and just songs and all kinds
Yeah.
of stuff to do this year round? And I almost struggle here looking for a reason and almost an answer for that.
Well, I think,
But I think it's sad.
I think as a society, we're so competitive.
And in what ways?
I think we're so competitive to dog eat dog. I got to take care of mines.
Mm-hmm.
Where in the holidays we get that comfort, I can let my guard down a little bit.
Right.
That's the sad part. That's where it's sad because we're so focused on the chase and the gain that we forget how many times we already probably have more than what we need.
For sure.
And once again, though, I honestly believe year round there is goodness. It's just not a story.
Right.
You know what I mean? I think of Serenity Home Improvements.
Yeah.
JP is constantly helping somebody out, cutting someone a deal just for the sake of not for overhead, not for money, because it's the right thing to do. And he don't care whether it's spring, summer, winter, or fall.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just who he is. And I know Visionary Meals is constantly working with not just customers, but other places and people and places to serve because it's the right thing to do. I think it's always out there. I just think it's accentuated this time of year.
You're right. Yeah.
And I think as individuals, we don't look for it. We're just not looking that way. I know. I once again, I'll speak to our church. Our church does an amazing job of this year round. When we think about, and I can think of these are just a few examples. But I know at the beginning of the school year, what do we do as a church? We adopt, like 100 orphans in Africa, and we come together and we basically pay all of their school tuition, uniforms, and supplies they need for the entire school year. We do that at the beginning of every school year. In the wintertime, we send thousands of boxes of Christmas gifts over in different areas because these kids aren't going to get anything.
Right.
Some of these kids have never received anything.
It's so rewarding when we get those videos back.
Oh my gosh.
The faces on.
But I
these
mean, you
kids'
can do that year round. There's a great company. We've talked about this. I don't know if people understand this about Visionary Meals. Visionary Meals came together obviously for a purpose. You want to supply home fresh, whole foods that are sourced locally for people who just want to eat a healthier diet, period. But there's a greater mission on top of that.
Correct.
And you want to use Visionary Meals to support other people.
Yes.
Well, one of these great places that teams with a lot of people, it's called World Visions. You can look it up, worldvisions.com. You can literally go on there and for $100, and if you say, well, I don't have $100, you can spend as little as $25. You can buy like a milking goat and send it to a village
That's cool.
in South America or Africa or whatever. And this family, you're gifting them a goat.
Wow.
This is something that Heather and I do. We buy farm animals. You can buy egg-laying hens and send them to a family, and they do two things. A, they obviously get eggs for themselves, but then it creates an income.
For sure.
Then they can sell some eggs. I mean, you can do all kinds of things from cows. You can do the mosquito nets, and you can do that year round. I mean, there's always a need, but it's not a story until it's a story.
Right. And it's easy this time of year for individuals to get caught up in the time.
And I think most of the people that do this stuff don't care to catch the story. It's the media that wants to share the story.
Yeah.
There's a guy in Lancaster. We were just talking about this. He owns a company called Wrench, and he's been doing this for years. It's just now basically made it to mainstream media. But this year he went in and he paid off 41 layaway accounts at Walmart. He paid them off.
Wow.
I mean, he went in and dropped basically $9,000 and said Merry Christmas to people I don't even know.
It's crazy.
But I mean, I think the year before he paid off school lunch debts at like 5 different local schools. That was like 11 grand.
Yeah.
And then the year before that, he paid off over 100 overdue utility bills.
Wow.
I mean, this guy wasn't looking for anything. He even says that in an interview because I wasn't looking for credit. It was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
I just want to give these people a break.
Well, for sure. I mean, I know of a local bank here, and I'm actually going to say their name because I think it deserves to be recognized. Park National Bank here locally to the Licking County, Central Ohio
Yeah.
area, definitely expanding. I know of them as a bank this time of year going in like a Kroger or a grocery store or something like that and completely randomizing who they pick to pay for their groceries.
Yeah.
And they literally pay. They ask that person, "Can we pay for your groceries?"
And they don't ask him, do you have an account with us first?
No,
It has
they don't
nothing
care.
to do with that.
They have no idea. Yeah.
It has nothing to do with that.
There's no like extra like here's a pamphlet of us on the way out. It's just
Yeah.
hey, this is our,
I
our
think,
way of giving.
I think we've been so wired to be suspicious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, why are you doing something nice for me?
Yeah.
Why are you doing something nice for
What
me?
do you get out of this?
Just because.
Yeah.
I mean, I tell people that all the time. Just because.
Yeah.
It's we have found ourselves in this very sad mixing pot of a society. And it's unfortunate because then we come together this time of year. And I mean, I don't want to drag anybody down on Christmas. What I want to do, and I know what you want to do, is we want to encourage you to maybe apply some of this to your everyday life.
Continue these acts.
You know what I mean? Buy the guy behind you a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
You know, or if you see someone on the side of the road, there's still nothing wrong with pulling over and say, "Can I help you?"
Right.
The funny thing is I've done that and been given the middle finger and said, "Get the heck out of
Really?
here."
Yeah.
But okay,
And I've also done that and spent 4 hours helping someone with their flat tire. This and
absolutely,
that. That's just what we're called to do, though.
yes,
We're called to serve.
yes. I mean, I think of a really, we were actually in a Kroger parking lot. This is years ago, and so the boys were with me, and they were young. I think Blake was just now in middle school. And there was a very old couple. He's walking with a walker, and she's hanging on dear life to the cart. And I noticed when we walked in, their back tire was flat.
Oh, wow.
And obviously, no one's in the car. I had no idea how to tell anybody.
Yeah.
And we just happened to be coming out at the same time, and I was parked right beside them. And so when they were coming up, obviously, I told the boys, I went and informed them their back tire's flat. He's obviously very old. She
Yeah.
can't do it.
Right.
And we sat there and we changed their flat. And come to find out, she doesn't live far from us. And the boys were putting the groceries in, and she invited everybody out to go fishing in their pond.
That's cool.
They didn't want nothing for it. We didn't want nothing for it.
Right.
But what they wanted to see again is they just wanted to hear the laughter of kids on their property,
Yeah.
enjoying themselves. And it literally all started over a flat tire.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, what does it take me to get dirty to change your flat tire?
Right.
It takes nothing.
None of us are too good for an
No.
act like that.
And if you don't know how to change a flat tire, which I hear that all the time, people, it's like 5 lug nuts.
So simple.
You can Google it now
Yeah.
and just help somebody out. But we get so caught up in ourselves. And I mean, even I do. You get so busy
sure.
on this is what my day is, this is what I got to do, X, Y, and Z. I can't veer from that.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be that way.
Yeah.
Because honestly, God opens doors all the time. So we gotta slow down to see those.
Correct. No,
Yeah.
I find myself, especially recently in my life, running a business and an entrepreneur. We've talked about how being an entrepreneur comes with a level of selfishness, and there's a line of there are times where you need to be selfish, and I think Mark's so right. I can honestly say that because of times that I've had to be selfish, I've probably missed out on certain opportunities like that. And the whole purpose of this show, guys, particularly this episode, is to remind us it's not about us, right?
No.
And it's our job to serve and to give back and to release some of that selfishness. At times, it is okay to be selfish.
Yeah.
But it's understanding the importance that some other individuals out there need our help or something from us more than we need our help or something from us. That's why Christmas, this day, for some individuals is sad or is hard.
It is.
It's because there are individuals, like I just said, that are out there that need that extra help. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with help.
Well, you can't take for granted. I mean, anybody listens to the show and you have a child, if your child has the ability to wake up on Christmas morning, go look under a beautiful Christmas tree
Yeah.
and see a boatload of beautifully wrapped boxes, I'm telling you, take a minute and be thankful.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of parents out there who have children whose kids don't get to do that.
Right.
And you know what? As a parent, I'm talking to all the parents, that kind of hurt because you want to give your kids everything.
Yeah.
And then on the flip side, you think about those kids who've woke up on Christmas morning to pure disappointment. That's hard.
Yeah.
And we think well, that's just one day. No, no, no. Those are scars and cuts that last a
every day.
long time. And it is. There's so much pressure laid on a day like today, and I think that's why Josh and I wanted to just come. I mean, guys, we did not have to be sitting here recording a podcast for you for Christmas on Christmas.
Right.
But the reality is, we want to encourage you to see past just the wrapping paper and the bows, because there's so much more to be thankful for. I mean, for all those people who don't understand, Josh and I pray over the show before we get any
show.
recording every time.
Yeah.
And I know one of the things we prayed out today was, there's a famous line where Christ says, "My cup will overfill." Our cups are always overflowing.
Yep.
Our cups are always spilling over. It's whether or not we choose to recognize that and then share that overflow. Because God always gives us more than we could ever ask for.
Yeah.
It's just whether or not we apply it in the right areas. And a lot of times we let it go to waste. And especially this time of year, if you don't do it year round, whatever. But this time of year, at least be somewhat in tune to help somebody out.
We are all capable of giving.
Absolutely.
All right, and giving doesn't always mean a tangible value or
No.
a monetary value, or
It could be a compliment.
or anything like that.
Yeah.
And there's no such thing as a level of giving. You know, it's what you are able to give, right? And it is what is important, guys, for this time. And like Mark said, guys, this day is obviously very special. Happy birthday to baby Jesus.
Yeah.
Of course, it's super
6
exciting.
pound, 8 ounce baby Jesus.
Baby Jesus.
It's one of the best prayers ever.
So glad you went there. Oh man, that's fantastic.
I like to think of my Jesus wearing a tuxedo T-shirt because he likes to party too.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
For all those who don't know, that's Talladega Nights. Yeah. It's really not as funny as we're laughing at it, but it is. So
not appropriate, but it's hilarious. Great movie. But no, guys. Obviously, Merry Christmas to everyone.
Yeah.
We hope this day is filled with joy, love, and laughter. We encourage it to be. We know this show was filled with a lot of stuff that we grow up listening to. But I think just like with anything, it's okay to be constantly reminded of how we all can be better, because Mark and I talk about it all the time. We all fall short. All right. We all fall short in the areas that we know we could be better in. And I think giving, loving, is an area that we all can be better in.
And that stuff's free, folks.
It is. It doesn't cost anything.
It's free. So many of us will complain about this society, will complain about our environments, and then so little of us will do anything about it.
Yeah.
And I know we've said this on this show before. It may not be received well, but I'm here to tell you, when it is received well, your kindness, you can't put a dollar amount on it. So don't let this world harden you. Don't let it delete your amount of love you want to share, the kindness you want to show, because there are people out there that do appreciate it. And for those who don't, that's fine. Let them be.
Yeah.
Let them be. But don't stop doing what you're doing. Continue to be who you are. I mean, don't get frustrated and then just give up. I mean, just keep doing it. Eventually, if enough of us all do it together, we'll make change.
Yeah. It's not a competition of who has it better, who has it worse. And know if you do have it, bad, just know there's someone out there that has it.
Absolutely.
That has it worse than you. So it's our job to do our serving duty, guys, and give and love to those that need it the most.
That's the best gift we can give.
Yeah. No, that's good, Mark.
Yeah.
Real quick, guys, Visionary Meals wants as well to wish you all a Merry Christmas. It is this time of year where we really start looking into those New Year's resolutions.
Absolutely.
Guys.
I know I already am.
And what am I going to do for myself to get over all of this food that I've been eating? These
I'm 20
cinnamon
pounds
rolls.
heavy on Christmas cookies. So
Seriously. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's this time of year, guys, where we all start kind of regaining our focus and planning out that time for our physical, our mental health, guys. And Visionary Meals just wants to let you know we are obviously here for you guys in this time. If you are unsure of what really healthy eating looks like, contact us. Let us know, guys. Visionary Meals is going to have some fantastic deals going on for this season. So don't miss out on this opportunity, guys. We are here to make the best you, and it is your job and is your duty to envision the best you, and let us help you out with that.
Well, I would tell you this. You think of healthy eating, everybody thinks specifically of the physical effect.
Yeah.
Where I'm here to tell you, when you are physically at your healthiest, chances are you're mentally at your healthiest as well, because they do go in direct correlation. So if you're feeling good about yourself, it'll be so much easier for you to project that loving kindness thing we were just talking about to others, and really be able to share more of yourself. So, and the nice thing about visionary meals is you ain't cutting no corners on flavor. So I mean, if you're thinking diet, don't think diet. I mean, it's really, really good food that's really good for you.
Yeah. The best you is what, Mark?
The best you is the best for everybody.
I love it. That's it right there, guys. Well, guys, Deliberately Linked. We're on all audio platforms. Don't forget, check us out on whatever is most convenient for you. Social media as well, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, guys. Shoot us a follow. And if you have not hit that subscribe button, hit that button there right in the corner, guys. Let us know if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns.
Hey, and I'll tell you what, somebody did. And if you listened to last week's episode, because they did, we actually did an on-site podcast at their place of business.
That's a fact.
So hit us up if that's something you'd be interested
no
in. Josh and I were mobile. We'd love to come see you.
For sure. I love it, guys. Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Deliberately Linked. Signing out.